In some ways, the Nintendo 64 was a stroke of genius. I think the greatest aspect of it was the multiplayer component. They included 4 controller ports right out of the box. That is amazing. And since then, it has become a standard for gaming consoles. I mean, before that, we had a fight with multi-taps. Don't get me wrong, it's a good idea, but it's frustrating to have to get 4 controllers plus this extra thing. I used to have the Super Nintendo multi-tap, and with it, I played a whole lot of Bomberman. Now that is a great party game. It's just a shame about the whole multi-tap thing, you know? And that's where this comes in. Bomberman 64. Oh yeah. Like, think about it, guys. 4-player Bomberman right out of the box. This was revolutionary. Okay, no it wasn't. That's over-exaggerating. But it was very cool. I remember getting this game and playing so many matches with my friends. I'm not about to say it was the Halo of its time, but man, it was so much fun. Just a pure chaos of 4 Bombermen running around, blowing the crap out of each other. You just can't go wrong with something like that. It's simple, elegant, and technical. It takes skill to be good at this game. Now I know it deviates from the classic Bomberman formula just a bit. I mean, traditionally you have these large maze-like arenas filled with blocks and obstacles you have to blow through to get to your opponents. But I kind of like the barren look of Bomberman 64. And these maps are well designed. Some of them are really tricky to navigate, let alone kill your opponents, so it takes a massive amount of skill to succeed. Traditionally, Bomberman multiplayer had a heavy focus on trapping your opponents between blocks. So you'd get them wedged in a corner and just drop a bomb in. They can't move, and just have to wait for their unfortunate demise. That's not the case with this game, at least not most of the time. In Bomberman 64, there's a lot more focus on directly attacking your opponents. You see, Bomberman can actually place the bomb on the ground and kick it, and if it hits another Bomberman, he kind of gets dizzy for a second. So if you time your attacks right, you can blow them up almost instantaneously. You can also throw bombs, and you can pump them up. In fact, the pump-up bomb is one of my favorite innovations. Not only can you make it huge, you can also collect the fire power-ups to make the explosion even bigger. Seriously, Bomberman's dealing with some heavy-duty shit in this game. Another cool type of bomb, the remote control bomb. Yeah, just leave them down and blow them up. Or throw them at your enemy and explode them in midair. Of course, there are some problems with multiplayer. I am not a huge fan of the camera. I mean, what else could they really do? But you only really get the one angle, and sometimes it's panned back, so it's hard to traverse narrow pathways. Then again, as I said, that might just be part of the skill element. You have to be good to succeed, and that's my favorite kind of game. There's not a lot of luck here. You just gotta know what to do, and you gotta be good at it. So as far as the multiplayer component of Bomberman 64 goes, I'd say get 3 friends, plug in some N64 controllers, and have yourself a blast. But of course, that's not the only element in this game. Bomberman 64 also features an extensive single-player campaign. The quest features 5 varied worlds with 4 stages each. 2 of them are traditional adventure stages, while 2 more are boss encounters, whether it's a rival Bomberman or a giant hulking monster. But let's start the adventure maps. I find it's a bit of a mixed bag. The level design leaves something to be desired. I don't know, I don't think the engine left them enough to work with. The developers had to come up with weird mechanics like bomb jumps. The way that works is you'll kick a bomb into a ravine, and then if you walk on top of it, Bomberman will do a little leap to the other side. Then later on you have to pump up larger bombs to blow up huge obstacles or destroy bridges. It's odd. I don't know. The first few levels have some good ideas, but the more you play it kind of just gets repetitive, and the game doesn't really have anything new to offer at that point. At least in terms of these stages. And the levels aren't too varied. The first one's kind of cool, it has kind of a rock garden theme to it, but after that you get your traditional lava, ice, city. It's not so original. And the rival Bomberman fights don't fare much better. I mean, they're intense and they're fun, but it's just kind of a sample of the entertainment you can get from the multiplayer experience. Where the game really excels are the giant boss battles. I mean, I played this game over 10 years ago when it came out, and these fights stuck with me. I had so much fun trying to tackle these giant enemies. And it's halfway because you're handicapped. When you beat them, it feels like a major accomplishment. Because take this dragon, for instance. He's so hard to hit, he moves around so fast. You have to pump up your bomb, throw it at the right time, and explode it in midair. It's not easy. But if he breathes a little fire on you, boom, you're dead. Yeah, you'll be lucky if you get 2 hits out of a boss. Sometimes they'll punch you and make you dizzy, but usually they have some kind of laser or projectile that'll just burn you instantly. And look at this Transformer type thing. This is insane. It's like the Bomberman Terminator. It's got machine guns and lasers and missiles. Yeah, there's just no beating this thing. Visually, the game is not so impressive. Everything's really blurry, like the textures and the character models. Nothing's defined the way it should be. So if you play for too long, you kind of get the feeling you have glaucoma. But this was fairly early in the Nintendo 64's lifespan, so I think I'll give it a free pass. So as far as Bomberman 64 is concerned, I say you should definitely get it for the multiplayer component. If you have 3 friends, you're gonna love it. The single player leaves something to be desired. There are good things about it, but overall it's a bit sloppy and lazy, and not really worth your time. There are much better adventure games to play. And hey, if you can't find friends, just use the computer-controlled bots. The only problem is when you're doing that, you're kind of sitting there thinking, where did I go wrong? Why am I sitting alone in my basement playing Bomberman 64 against really bad AI? Why can't I find 3 friends to play with? Do I even have 3 friends? I mean, why am I such a loser? How did this happen? That's what the person who uses the bots would be thinking. Barman should totally experiment with nuclear weaponry. Yeah, he doesn't even have to be there. He can just throw a bomb in the arena, blow it up. Even if he misses his opponents, they'll die from radiation sickness. Slow, agonizing deaths, just the way Bomberman likes it. And this means that the Bomberman series could kind of lead into the Fallout series, you know, because they have nothing to do with each other.